Happy New Year! Alrighty, so what I've got going on is I am creating little collars by wet felting green for our troop of strawberry elves that are going to be sweeping around this corner right here, right into the foreground. So to make the little collars for the elves, I'm going to create a sheet of green. And I think to have a couple different shades of green, when the felted fabric kind of flips and folds a little bit, I'm going to create 3 different shades of green on this one felted piece, because I really don't need all that much. So I'm going to do it this way. And one of the things that this element of their little costumes is going to do is create a lot of wavy lines that will be right next to the light green wavy lines of the elves' hair. So the elves' hair is this bright green curly lock wool, and then this little collar, oops, flatten that back out, will create a nice additional wavy element, because all the other pieces of their hats and their shoulders, the tops of the shoulders that you see, those will be pretty flat, even spaces. So this is going to create some nice variety. I'm so glad it's New Year's Day. Charlie is sleeping. We just took a family walk down to the pond and walked all over the place. And then we got up to the house and Tyler turns around and says, "Where's my football?" So Adam and Tyler and Charlie walked back down to the pond in like record speed, got the football, came back up, while Eva and I made Grammy Mary's meatballs, which are in the crock pot right now. So excited. The whole house smells like Christmas get-togethers at Grammy and Grampy Tranton's house when I was little. Grammy Mary's meatballs. It smells like Grammy Moselle's house. I'm going to share a wonderful little moment earlier when we were sitting down to have breakfast, and there was it's a wonderful pile. It's a pile of a game and pages with drawings and a Main Biz magazine and like 3 different boxes of markers, 2 tin cans of markers, and it has taken over where I typically sit when we have our meals. And so I made buttermilk waffles for breakfast this morning, and when it came time for me to, with fruit on it, it was so good. And when it was time for me to sit down, my whole place was just overcome by art supplies. And when I went around the table and sat down, carried my stool around, sat down, and I made a comment about, oh gosh, if everyone did just a little bit to keep it cleaner, which we're all doing much better at, by the way, which feels great. All 4 of us, it's wonderful. If everybody did that, it would just make such a difference ongoing. Adam and I snapped at each other just the tiniest little bit, and I really do mean the tiniest little bit, and I was just like, I understand that this is an impossible situation. I get it. And Tyler looks up, and he's got this look on his face, and he says, "Mommy and Daddy, you did not just sound like you were married." And after the fact, I looked at Adam and I said, what a wonderful truth that Tyler's interpretation when noticing that Adam and I snapped at each other and we were both short. He hears it so rarely. His reply, his thought on the matter was that we didn't sound like we were married. And that felt good. Those are good moments. Okay, and I think another positive part of that story is that we are collectively as a whole doing a better job of keeping this work, home, school environment. The collision of all three is insanity. But we're keeping it well tended to. Plant matter. Some of this wool that I've been using today has a bit more plant matter in it, but it could just get buried in the felt, so that's okay too. We have been nearing the end of a project for for A Wrinkle in Time Farm, getting their e-commerce website, their online shop ready to launch, and it feels really good to help them reach that milestone and be in a good position to build off of it and keep it growing and working for them over time. So that feels great. Oops, I need to flip directions here. Go this way. I could tell right here that the wool was really thin, and I didn't want it to be quite that thin. So I'm filling back in a bit more of my emerald green. I really like that. That look right there is really pretty. Super dark with an overhang of some lighter. Very pretty. I think I might even do a little bit of extra dark. Just a little bit. The kids got their first video console for Christmas from Grampy Dow. Thank you, Grampy Dow. And a little bit of this even. And so I'm in there watching them play the other day, and Adam's at the end of one of the levels waiting for Eva to catch up with him. And he's Mr. Incredible. He's just in one spot jumping up and down. He looks awesome. So funny. And as Eva neared the end, he's like, look for the jumping superhero. There he was, the jumping superhero. It's hilarious. Okay. So now, I'm going to get these out of the way. And I'm going to put my netting on. And I'm going to get this super wet. Whoop. Oh, sorry, Charlie. I gotta switch that stool. Get that out of the way. adjust this here for a minute. This, my friends, is the process of making a wool felted illustration. Part of the process. Oh, that's pretty. This is how we wet felt. Ooh, squish. Turning it in clockwise and quarter clockwise. Oh, always gotta put my top bubble back on. Every rotation, this agitation that the bubble wrap makes while it's nice and wet, it's agitating the fibers in that direction, and as they rub back and forth, they're interlocking. Such a different process than the needle felting. And together, when you combine the two, I think it is just beautiful. keeping it nice and wet. I love that every time I open it, it's like a new little present inside because they're just so unique and you never exactly know what it's going to look like when you lay it out. It's fun. So I started this right around, I don't know, maybe 10 past 12. And I'm almost done. Yep, not quite yet. Hey, Jolly Girl. Oops. Okay. If you lose track of exactly where you left off, it doesn't really matter. Bubble side up. And bubble side down. More. I don't want it to slide around in there. So I'll roll it up just a little more. Hey, sweet girl. I think I'm going to call this good because I got to take Charlie outside. You ready to go outside, honey? All right, I'm going to sign off. Next time I check in on the progress of this piece. There's Malik at his workbench in the back, which was this one. So now the troop of strawberry elves will be on this one. Okay. All right, honey, let's go. Sign it off.